I'm going to keep my real name private in order to protect my identity, so I'll refer to myself as Taylor. The story I'm about to share with you happened to me back in 2015 when I was 22 years old. My then girlfriend, who at the time was the love of my life, had recently broken up with me because I was too immature and she wanted to start thinking about the future, such as buying a house and having kids. I was fresh out of college and wasn't ready for this yet. I wanted to have some fun and experience some of the adolescent life we look forward to throughout the entirety of school. I didn't want to have to make my long-term commitments just yet, so she broke up with me despite my embarrassingly crying and begging. This was real hard for me, and I thought that we had something special and that she would wait for me, but I was wrong and saw that she was already dating other guys. I was in a state of depression and would often lay in my bed just flicking through the various social media apps and liking photos, following cute girls, and even signed up to a couple of dating apps. On this one particular night, this one girl I had recently followed sent me a DM and asked who I was. I explained I didn't really know her, but I thought she was cute and that I didn't mean to seem weird or stalkerish. She sent me a blushing emoji and told me that she thought I was cute too. This was a great ego boost for me, and I didn't really particularly have a lot of confidence, especially with how I was feeling at that particular moment. We passed a couple of messages back and forth, and she explained to me that she was trying to be a model and that this was her lifelong dream. She certainly looked like a model, and to be honest, I still couldn't even believe that she was talking to me. "You could definitely be a model," I replied. She sent another blushing emoji and told me I was cute. She then sent another message asking me to vote for her in a model competition hosted by her local talent agency and sent a link through. I thought at the time that maybe she was playing me in order to just get another vote, but I didn't really care. What if she wasn't and she genuinely liked me? I could end up dating a model, and this was very exciting for me. I clicked on the link in order to cast my vote, and a message came up on the screen. "Link broken." I tried again, and I got the same message. And then, something happened that I really had not braced myself for. The so-called model I was talking to started to send me images of me and my ex that I had not shared on any social media platforms or anywhere else in the public domain. These were pictures of me and my ex, and not pictures that either of us would want to be seen by anyone else but us. They weren't intended for anyone but us. I was shaking and I was scared. I had that pit feeling in my stomach that you get when you look over the edge of a tall building and your stomach drops. If these pictures got out, I'd have no chance of getting back with my ex. I then received a message asking for the sum of $500 to be sent to an account, or she, if it even was a she, would send these photos to my ex and all her family and friends, and my family and friends. I was scared, like seriously scared. If I paid the $500, which I didn't have, this creep might still share them or extort me for even more money. I really didn't know what to do. I decided I had to do everything I could to not let these intimate photos be shared. I asked for 24 hours and told them I would get them the money. They agreed, so I knew, or at least I thought I had some breathing space to come up with a plan, or whatever that would be. I exhausted all my options to raise the money, and eventually had to settle on pawning some of my personal items, my TV, console, and my dad's class ring. I was able to raise the $500 and sent the money across to a private account. I received a thank you message and a smiley emoji. Then I received another message. I still have the photos. If you go to the police or anyone about this, I will expose them all online. I reluctantly agreed, as there was nothing else I could really do, as they said that they were going to delete the photos, but now they are keeping them as ransom. Shortly after this, me and my ex got back together, and things are better than I could ever wish for. We're engaged to be married next fall, and I'd hate for anything to ruin what we have. She doesn't know about any of this, but the scariest thing just happened. I just received another message. My name is Lisa, and I generally don't have a good history when it comes to relationships. I'm often told that I'm too clingy or that I come on too strong early on in the relationship. I'm very simple and I just want to be loved by someone who has similar interests as me, such as live music, days out, and just having day-to-day fun. A simple life. I've tried Tinder and plenty of fish, but I never seem to match with anyone who stays around for more than a date or two at the most, and I'm not exaggerating. I post a lot on social media, such as photos of me in new dresses, just in the hopes of getting some attention, and maybe one day someone will check me out and like what they see enough to have a third date. In today's age, a large majority of people meet through platforms like Instagram and Bumble, so I always tag my location and check into places, which isn't the smartest idea, I know. I don't have many followers, nor do I generally get many likes. It's usually about 5 or so likes per post, and that's usually off my closest friends or family. I'm at home one evening, just watching some trash TV, when I see a notification pop up on Instagram. You have 1 new follower. This is about as exciting as my night usually gets. I checked out the profile, but it just appears to be some kind of spam account. There were pictures, but they were all groups of friends, nothing to indicate who the actual account belonged to, so I just closed the app and went to bed as I was up for work in the morning. When I arose, I followed my usual morning routine, got dressed, had breakfast, and brushed my teeth. I made my way to work and noticed some notifications on Instagram. Johnny has liked your photo. Johnny has liked your photo. Johnny has liked your photo. Johnny had gone through my account and liked every single one of my photos. Now, this seemed a little strange, but I was flattered. I got a sense of butterflies and lust for someone that had liked me, so I decided to send a message. Hey, I noticed you liked all my photos. Do I know you? Johnny instantly saw my message and started replying. No, you don't know me. I saw you check into the corporate bar and grill and really liked your style. Now I was really curious. I didn't even know what Johnny looked like. How sweet, I replied. Can I ask which one you are on your profile? Second on the left. He wasn't the one I was hoping it would be. He appeared a bit short for my liking, but was still relatively good looking. Height wasn't exactly a deal breaker for me. We were getting on really well at this point. Lots of compliments and flirting, and even some genuine laughing out loud. I was smitten with a guy I hadn't even met. After about 2 weeks, he asked me if we could meet up, and he would take me to dinner at the corporate, as he was a regular there and they would look after us. Everything seemed perfect. No red flags or anything to suggest that things would turn out the way they did. As I was getting ready for our date, I was getting butterflies and decided to check on Johnny's profile when I noticed something that I had never noticed before. Johnny didn't follow any other account other than mine. Now, if you know anything about Instagram, you will agree that most people, as soon as they sign up for an account, will follow 10 to 20 people straight away. These are usually close friends, favorite teams, actors, bands, and so on. For him, to follow no one seemed very out of the ordinary. What seemed even more strange is that Johnny only had 2 followers. One was obviously me, but I was curious to know who the other belonged to. I went to check out the other profile, and what I found really disturbed me and made me feel sick to my stomach. It was a duplicate account of my own, like an exact replica. every picture from my profile in the exact same order with the exact same check-ins. I noticed the color ring around the profile picture that tells you the account has posted a story, and as any normal person would do, I decided to check what they had posted. It was me. Like, not shared pictures of me, but actual pictures of me taken in third person. There were photos of me going to work, photos of me at work, and everything else I had done that day. As I got to the last story, I saw that it was a picture of my front door, and it was uploaded just 3 minutes ago. This person was outside my house. I tried to tell myself that maybe they took the picture yesterday, or maybe it was just a friend playing a joke, but I couldn't be sure, and it certainly didn't feel like a joke. I messaged Johnny to say that I couldn't make our date and said we would rearrange. Johnny never replied. I went to stay at a friend's house that night just in case whoever it was decided to come and visit me in my sleep. I went to check on Johnny's account later that night, and it was closed along with my fake account. This was a sigh of relief as I didn't have to break it off with Johnny and make things awkward by giving the opportunity for him to ask questions. My friend reassured me I would be safe there, and after checking the doors and windows what seemed like 100 times, we eventually went to sleep. I woke to a loud scream and my friend grabbing my arm. As I sat up and looked, there was a man standing in the doorway to the bedroom. We couldn't really see his face, just the silhouette of a man. I was literally speechless. I was too scared to even scream. The man stood forward into the light, smiled, and then just turned around and walked away. We called the police and they came to check the house. There were no signs of forced entry. There was no broken glass. I know we checked all the doors and windows, which could only mean one thing. If it was Johnny, he was already in the house before we went to sleep. I moved back in with my parents after that, and I still live there now. I'm not sure if I could ever live alone again. I'm not a fan of Instagram, or any other social media for that matter. I don't want all my personal details and activities posted online for the world to see, and I certainly don't need the instant gratification that people get when someone likes their new photo, or story, or whatever. I'm in my mid-20s, and people are always shocked when they ask me for my Instagram handle, and I tell them I don't use it. It's like I'm uncool or old-fashioned or something. It's been proven that social media can contribute to depression or other psychological disorders, yet I'm always the one made to feel crazy. You get to see the highlights of everyone else's life, making you feel depressed about your own. Pretty rich girls lying on the beach or in daddy's house. It just doesn't interest me. Don't get me wrong, I am happy that others have this life, but this isn't the case for most. You only have to use Google to learn of the things people have done, either to themselves or to others, due to the extreme stress put on them by social media alone. This stuff is serious. Now, I was recently invited to a party with a friend of mine who swears by social media. She believes it will catapult her career into the music industry, and she already has over 10,000 followers. I'm not going to name her as I don't want to bring the wrong type of attention to her account, as she might get unwanted messages and I don't want that for her. I'm going to call her Tina for the purpose of this story. Recently, me and Tina were invited to a local Instagram party. I need to make it clear that this wasn't an official party set up by Instagram. but by a local club in order to raise its own status. The catch was that they would only invite people who had over 10,000 followers on Instagram. This was a great networking opportunity for Tina, as she could go and meet other people with up-and-coming accounts that would take photos, tag each other, share stories, meaning that in one night, everyone's account would get lots of attention and would grow exponentially. Tina asked me to go as her plus one. When we arrived, our payment of entry was to check in at the venue, meaning for every person attending, there would be the minimum potential of 10,000 followers that would see this venue pop up on the radar. A great marketing technique. But anyways, we got into the venue, and Instagram aside, it already seemed to be a great party. Everyone was friendly and chatty. There were no creepy guys. Everyone was there for one thing, to promote themselves, make connections, and have a good time. I was enjoying the vibe of the party to the point where I even thought of starting an Instagram account, thinking maybe there is a good side to all of this. As the night went on, it just got busier and busier. I lost Tina, and I couldn't find her anywhere. I eventually ended up calling Tina's brother Curtis to tell him we had split up and that I couldn't find her. Curtis was a lovely guy, and I fancied him throughout high school. He was always responsible and mature, even when we were kids. He came and met me at the front door of the club, and we overheard someone talking about someone in the alley. Curtis told me to wait by the entrance and he would go check it out. He found Tina lying between two dumpsters, passed out on the floor. Curtis took both me and Tina back to his place to make sure we were both okay. Now, I know that Tina hadn't drunk any more than me, and I was nowhere near as out of it as she was. When Tina woke up the next morning, she told us that she was talking to some guy who bought her a drink, and shortly after started to feel funny, as though she had been spiked. When she tried to leave the conversation, she went out of the fire exit, thinking it led back to the main room. She says that she was followed, and as she fell onto the floor, she could hear laughter, cheering, and saw flashing lights like people were taking photos. We searched Instagram and later found the footage posted by an entertainment business account. It turns out that one of the invitees to the party ran an account which posted and shared footage of people being drunk and out of control. This was mostly guys jumping through tables or doing shots until they passed out, but on this occasion, they filmed my friend Tina, and when they had enough footage, just left her there alone and vulnerable. We reached out to both Instagram and the account holders, and the page was closed down. Whether it was Instagram or the account owner, we will never know, but I know Tina will never get over the embarrassment that she felt from that experience.